Hey there, everybody. It's Solvability. Jenny Clark. I've got another great session of Freedom Friday. And this time, what we're talking about is human capital. If you're a federal contractor and you hire veterans, which a lot of federal contractors want to hire almost exclusively veterans, you need to find a way to do that. And one of the reasons it's so important to us is because the number one issue among federal contractors, according to Deltek's Clarity Report and Uninet's Gauge Report, is finding qualified personnel and being able to bring them on board, bring them the benefits, recruit them, retain them, help them absorb the culture, and really make a difference. So today what I've done is I've brought on Cathy Miclat with Vets to PM, Craig Washburn with Veteran Tax Credits, and then Joe Young with GovCon Pay, really to talk about how we're collaborating to put all this together. And we'll be talking even more about it at GovCon Summit, which is going to come up in April. People need to be registering now for solvability.com/GovCon Summit because we've just added a veteran job fair. So let me start first by introducing Cathy Miclat, and she's going to talk a little bit about what is going on with Vets to PM and what your purpose is and how we're working together. Take it away, Cathy.
Thank you very much, Jenny, and thank you for getting everybody together as always. You are incredible at getting people together to talk about these important topics, so thank you so much. So I'm Cathy Miclat, and I'm the Director of Career Services with Vets to PM. What Vets to PM does in general is our mission is to help military veterans achieve meaningful, lucrative post-service careers. And we do this a couple of different ways. One side of our business is about certification training. So what we do is we help military veterans speak civilian fluently and then prove it with, this is about their CM credential, which is Certified Manager. It's a book that our CEO, Eric Wright, wrote. But we have other credentials as well, project management credentials, Agile Scrum credentials, going into IT and cyber credentials. So what we do is we help them understand the language of the civilian business world and then prove it through whatever credential is applicable to what industry or what type of work they want to do once they transition. I started the career services side, which we help each one of our students with a professional resume, LinkedIn optimization, interview skills to prepare them the rest of the way for their transition into the civilian workforce. And then I work with companies that want to hire veterans. We have a candidate database called Purple X, which just topped over 5,000 candidates, most of whom are veterans with clearances, and credentials and experience across the board. Then we also offer other services, job posting services, flat fee placement. We've got PM as a service, which is consulting project managers. We have one starting with a client next week.
And you do something, you're getting me somebody, right?
Yes, well, this is what I was going to say next. So we have recently become a DoD approved skill bridge provider. So what that means is we take transitioning veterans in their last 180 days and we can put them on internships with companies that we collaborate with, like Jenny, and other companies. And so many companies aren't aware of this program. Some of them are and they utilize it, others don't. But you can take a transitioning veteran, get them on an internship with the company for the last up to 6 months of their service. We're revolutionizing the program though, because we are adding certification training. So we have a PM track, we have an IT and cyber track, and with the certified manager, we have a general management track. And so we take the intern and we simultaneously put them on the job training with a host employer. We have one right now. We have 2 customers that also have interns right now. And then we train them while they're in their internship for whichever track they're going on, the certifications that are applicable to that. And it's an amazing program. And when the people come out of that program, they are going to be 100% ready for a job in the civilian workforce with credentials, with a history of all of the experience they've accumulated, plus then on-the-job training in the civilian workforce. And another added feature that we're doing is we're making sure that each of our interns take advantage of the work opportunity tax credit. So they can come to their employer with up to $9,600 tax credit if they hire that person. So we're working collaboratively with Joe and GovCon Pay to add some value to their clients. And both of us are working together with Craig, who runs the VTC, which helps facilitate the work opportunity tax credit.
So I've got lawnmowers going here. So let me just real quickly introduce Craig with veteran tax credits and let him take it away.
I hear
Thanks,
that.
Jenny. The fun of working from home, I tell you what. Well, thanks everybody for coming together today, and thanks Jenny for putting this together. It's a pleasure to be here. So my name is Craig Washburn, and I am the CEO and founder of Veteran Tax Credits. Our primary mission is to help veterans and the companies that they go to work for leverage the Department of Labor Veteran Tax Credit Program. It's a program that's been around for a very long time. Most people don't realize that the veteran tax credit started post-World War II. It's changed names and iterations throughout the years, and today it's part of the greater WOTC program, or Work Opportunity Tax Program. And it's a program, because it's lost its visibility, that companies and veterans, unfortunately, aren't leveraging it today. So our mission is to help bridge the gap so that both sides of the equation learn about this program, learn how to use it to their advantage, and ultimately reap the rewards. So on the veteran side, we help them get pre-certified for the tax credit, and we work with great partners like Jenny and Cathy and Joe to be able to help facilitate that, so that the veterans can come in and do their side of the paperwork while they're in the job search process. So they're armed with not only the knowledge about the program, but also armed with knowing how much of a tax credit they're worth, and then bringing that to the companies that they go to work for. At the end of the day, we want them to be able to use the program the way it's intended, as an incentive for businesses to, potentially choose them over other candidates. And in the government contracting world, obviously, we know there are tons of companies that actively seek veterans as part of their staffing solutions for projects and contracts, from the diversity requirements, along with the skill set and the knowledge that they bring to the table. So we are excited about the government contracting world specifically, because we know that that is a space that veterans play a very large role in helping those companies succeed in those contracts. On the employer side, in the government contracting world, unfortunately, you guys know government paperwork better than most, and nobody likes to do government paperwork. We don't like to do government paperwork, but we do it for you, so you don't have another piece that you've got to worry about. So on the employer side, we take the mystery and headache out of the program. We file all the paperwork for you. We've built a technology solution that makes it extremely easy with very limited input from the employer. And then we help you onboard your veterans so that you get the tax credits that you deserve for hiring them, and wrap that all up at the end of the year on the ones that you've earned and have been approved, and give that back to you on the required IRS documentation, so you can hand that over to your CPA or whoever it is that you use to file your taxes, and say, hey, here's 50 grand in taxes we don't have to pay that year. So we make it extremely easy. It's a turnkey solution. And up to $9,600 in tax credits for every veteran that you hire. There are different classifications on the amounts, but the minimum you can earn is $2,400 for a qualified veteran, up to the $9,600. And if you're hiring veterans today and you're not taking advantage of this program, you are walking away from P&L. And that's extremely important to understand, because this program is available for all companies regardless of size. So if you're not doing it, that's margin that you could be putting back into your budget to help you, achieve your mission, achieve your contract even better.
All right, that's outstanding. Thank you for that. The next one we're going to bring on is Joe Young.
Well, thanks,
Joe, you're
Russ,
up.
and good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here, and again, thank Jenny for coordinating the Freedom Fridays. For those of you who aren't aware, GovCon Pay, we specialize in working exclusively in government contractors and providing payroll and HR technology solutions and services to our clients. Although, pay is in our name and payroll is a core functionality, and I'd like everybody to know that we're really more kind of in the process improvement and kind of the re-engineering the HR processes for businesses. And as with our content today, beyond simple HR compliance and benefits, talent management and the recruiting and onboarding of new talent is such a key part of that for all businesses. And as Jenny shared at the beginning, is such a key challenge in the government contracting space. One of the great things about working exclusively in this marketplace and in this ecosystem of partners that we're able to develop through people like Jenny is how to collaborate with other people that also bring added value services to that part of the process. We have a robust recruiting and applicant tracking software that enables our clients to do that. But what's really exciting for us is how we can collaborate with people like Cathy and Craig to incorporate the really unique, great services that they bring as a part of the recruiting process, specifically around veterans, and bring that to our prospective clients and our current clients. Because I think, as they shared, a lot of times, like anything, lack of knowledge and just some education about some of these opportunities is really one of the key hurdles, first and foremost, is understanding that these opportunities are out there. What I'm excited about is in collaboration with people like Craig and Cathy, how we can build that into new processes for our clients to really take advantage of this, where they're not having to work with a bunch of people independently to find talent and seamlessly onboard them, especially when they're remote from all over the country. So the ability to provide them access to the talent that Cathy has through Purple X or some of the work they're doing with SkillBridge is a great asset and a pull to bring to our clients who are always looking for new talent. And obviously, we work with a lot of veteran-owned businesses, and their interest in hiring veterans is obviously very high, but maybe they struggle on how to handle that. One of the exciting things, as Craig shared, the untapped dollars out there in the veterans tax community that people just leave on the sidelines is, I think, rather shocking. And again, so our ability to educate our clients on not to walk past these opportunities is a great opportunity for us to add value. One of the things I know we learned in talking with Craig about this is traditionally we have had some clients who wanted to take advantage of some of the traditional work opportunity tax credits. And our process always was usually they did some screening for that after they hired the people to see if there was money there. And Craig said, well, Joe, they can do the screening before they hire the people to make sure they hire the people that maybe maximize the credit. That's what the law was put in there to do. And boy, that seems like common sense. But it was really interesting to see that that's not what most people were doing. They were kind of maybe hoping they're getting a credit on the back end and not proactively screening their candidates. So we're excited about putting some processes in place through our system and Craig's system, through integrations and collaboration to allow our clients to find that information, screen for those credits, and make that a part of their process as they're looking at candidates, which we think will really bring some real added value, not only to our clients, but most important, but also to the veteran community and those people who are looking for great jobs. We can facilitate those opportunities for them.
Hey, so Joe Young, can you hear me now?
I can.
All right, so I put on my headset, so I'm almost as cool as Russ and Craig, because there's a lot more going on outside. One of the things that I love about GovCon Pay is I have used it as somebody that was working with a small business using your software. And I've never loved a payroll company until now. And you're like in my heart, because what you did is have totally changed the game of responding for federal contracting. Some of the top issues they have is how do we onboard people quickly and make sure they've still got a security clearance, that it's valid, that we get it approved through the supply chain, that their credentials match. And so before I started working with you, one of the companies I was working with, I said, how do you bring people on? Well, we put it out on Clearance Jobs or Indeed. They email us their resumes. Then we do this. We check their clearances. We do their interviews. You guys have an entire solution that really even starts with them finding the qualified candidates and going through the control of the interview and selection process, right? Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Jenny. As I said, it's so much about process and how you utilize technology to really improve your process and your interaction with, as you said, your candidates, starting at the candidate part of the process, all the way through the onboarding and then their role as an employee. So the ability to utilize technology and really create efficiencies. I think our most attractive opportunities, and you see so much of this in the middle market, is so many companies that are still very paper process driven, manual process driven, way too many things still on Excel spreadsheets. The inability to build workflows into their process, so approvals and things like that through different layers of maybe the hiring process or simply some of the change process in the day-to-day ongoing things of running your organization, be it around benefits or other tax compliance issues, is really how we really see the ability to make an impact on the small to mid-sized organizations that we deal with. As I said, payroll is core. We always make sure your paychecks are accurate every 2 weeks or whatever that is. But I really think it's those process improvements and bringing some experience and expertise of working in the government contracting marketplace exclusively and being able, as we're kind of showing today, to tap an ecosystem of partners that works in that area exclusively really allows us to differentiate ourselves from a lot of the national providers who may work with a government contractor today, but they're also working with every other industry out there. So they lose that ability to maybe find some of these niches of special expertise that's really going to add value to their GovCon clients.
Well, that's so important because I know I called you up a few weeks ago and said, hey, do you know anything about SOFA? And we had a discussion about what this is, but when you talk to a federal contractor that's growing fast, maybe they've got some people operating overseas. And so when we had the conversation, we were able to go through our acronyms really fast. And you'll say, are they OCONUS? Are they paid in local currency? Are they a subcontractor or a prime contractor? And then we said, you going to set them up as exempt or non-exempt? Are you going to set them as salary or hourly? What about their benefits? Are they going to get extra? Do they work like that 32 hours on and 40 hours the next week? Are they on that 80 hours? It's like we talk the lingo of those special clients. And you know what the employees of that have said? The employees that I put under your system would email us back and say, I've never had an experience with a company that I felt like was taking care of me. And actually, you were doing the work, but the employer was getting the credit because they signed up to create a unique process that made the employee feel like their name was known from day one. And they could see their process inside your portal. Also, it made it possible to have different people in the approval cycle or have an admin set up the interviews. All of that is so important. But the other part that I loved is we had all these spreadsheets and emails floating around, and I'd get an email with a resume attached, and somebody would have written in what we're going to pay the guy. And I'm like, I don't have the guy's email address. How do I onboard him? Well, okay. And then they'd change the pay rate. So what happens now is when they get the offer, they can generate the offer letter, they can get the acceptance, then they can turn that applicant into an onboarding place where the applicant can go change their email to the company email, put in their direct deposit, their banking, their tax, put in everything they need. You guys even have a checklist to make sure the I-9 is there on file, make them sign for the employee. I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away, aren't I?
We love the excitement, but yeah, we love nothing more, Jenny, than to work with our clients and partners like you to destroy paper. So the more paper we can get out of it, the happier everybody is, the more compliant they are. So we love to collaborate on those types of things.
Well, the other thing is you guys are super fast. And by super fast, this is what I mean. I had a client that I was working with that basically had been using a combination factoring company, payroll service company. And I thought, this has been the thing that's been holding that company back for years. keeping them from growing. And they were so concerned about making the switch, knowing what it was going to take. But we took them off of QuickBooks to another product called Uninet. And then we put them on GovCon Pay, had a full integration. And we've never had what I call a closed loop process, where you can actually make sure that the timesheet the employee fills out goes straight up to the payroll company with no other interaction. The other thing that was so great is when I go after those implementation projects, I always had to spend like 80 hours doing the work. Well, it cut into my revenue. You know why? Because you guys did all the heavy lifting. You had templates for me. I fulfilled my role that I do best as the project manager, the translator between the two, so that we know exactly where we are. And I've never worked with a company that has that kind of talent, that kind of focus on the federal market. And really, we really share that for veterans, all of us on this call, on top of everything else at GovCon Summit, which is going to be virtual in April. I want people to sign up now. We're doing training like this on a lot of different business topics for government contracting. We're going to have thought leaders and a lot of really unique topics. But the other thing I'm really excited about, that honestly I've been very distracted the last few days, we're doing a career fair. Imagine being able to help my clients that need all of our services find the candidates they need. And not only that, we're going to have Craig Washburn show them a way to get paid $9,600 to hire a super qualified candidate that Cathy's already screened and done some training for. And all of this supports veterans, veteran hiring, SkillBridge, DoD, everything we want to do. We are the only group that has this kind of solution. I'm so proud to be a part of it. So we're really looking forward to seeing how all this rolls out. And Joe, one of the companies, the organizations I talked to yesterday that I think you're working with, Honor Foundation. Do you mind saying a little bit? The Honor Foundation. I'm sorry. I must have
it mixed up. Confused me with Jenny. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of different veterans organizations that try to support veterans in transition. So we've got Vets to PM, Vets to Industry, Honor Foundation, and there's just so many other people that are stepping forth, because people like Craig Washburn are calling me and saying, hey, you know who you ought to get this extra person. So it's a completely integrated process. Thanks so much, everybody, for being on today. I'm going to stop for a minute and turn it over for questions. And I always like to start with Larry Martin, because he's always got great questions. Do you mind, Larry?
Not at all, Jenny. Cathy, I was really excited listening to what you were talking about. I like the idea. SkillBridge was a program that I wish we'd had earlier, and I was really impressed with the work that you've done to supercharge it and to help the folks get out. How is it working with you guys as you pair up the folks that want to come to SkillBridge? Are you able to have to really get some fidelity for the folks that want to seek the certifications that you've got as they come into SkillBridge?
So we are very new at this. It was just late last year that we were approved and really got our program running. And thank you for your nice comments. And it's actually grown legs. We haven't even really promoted it much. We've had a couple of customers that have been interested. So what we're doing is, when the person finds out about our SkillBridge, either from the DoD SkillBridge site or some activity that we're doing on our social media, we have them go to our website. It's vetstopm.com/SkillBridge, and they can see the different tracks and they can register. We don't have enough legs yet where everyone who registers gets an internship. So what we do is simultaneously recruit companies that are interested in bringing on SkillBridge, and maybe they're not approved and they don't know how to do it. So we are the approved provider, but we can use them as a host employer for the on-the-job training portion. So for instance, today we had somebody register who is in California and is going to be available to start an internship in June. So I have a company that posts jobs on our website that I know is interested in the program, that's in California, does a lot of work in this person's geographic area. And so I contacted that company and said, hey, I've got a project manager SkillBridge intern who really wants, to start a SkillBridge internship. What do you think? So I'm starting the conversation with them. So I am going to start a portal on the SkillBridge page for employers that are interested in our SkillBridge interns. They're going to be able to register, And we're putting together the process right now, but I think what will happen is if they have an actual need right away, we can start looking into our candidate pool. Every SkillBridge interested person goes into our Purple X database. So we are growing the database even quicker. And the greatest thing is these people are still in the military, so they still have their polygraph, their TSSCI, they have their advanced security clearances, and we know when they're transitioning. So if they don't get in SkillBridge, we can help them get a job. So we are putting together the side of the program for employers to show their interest. And our goal is to have X number of employers that just want 10 a month. Let's just roll 10 people through, starting 10 interns a month, starting with their companies. And then this way, the veteran gets certification training at no cost to them. The employer gets a constant pool of interns that they get to interview basically for the term of their internship, and hopefully bring them on as employees afterwards. And that is going to help the success and of the veteran when they start working, and they're not going to quit their job after X number of months like the statistics show. And it's going to help employers, A, boost their veteran hiring, and B, increase their retention rates. So I hope that answered your question.
Well,
you.
I'm gonna make Russ the next person to speak.
So let me make sure that I'm up here. Yeah. So one of my real interests here is working with small business owners in making their transition, particularly those who are interested in going into the entrepreneurial space. And so these are very valuable resources. Where should I get these business owners so that they would really qualify for the type of things that you do? Is there sort of uh, a minimum place that they need to be revenue wise or employee wise that would make them prime clients for your services?
To host a SkillBridge intern?
I guess I may be talking with well, no, because what you all are doing is you're providing the training, but you're not really funneling people into the entrepreneurial space. You're really funneling people
Right.
into the corporate community. So I'm
Yes.
probably talking more to Joe and Craig in this particular question.
Well, from our perspective, Russ, appreciate the question. We're working with government contractors, most of all of which are entrepreneurs, of all shapes and sizes all over the country. So we have, a number of smaller startups, under 10 employees. And once they get to a hire or two, they get into compliance issues and payroll issues. So a lot of times then we're starting with very basic issues around maybe some of those basic payroll and HR issues that they need to respond, up into clients we have with thousands of employees who, are dealing with a lot larger suite of services around recruiting technology and benefits administration and those things. But if they have employees and need some help, we're welcome to try and get engaged. We love working with small government contractors because nothing makes us happy to co-celebrate wins of new contracts for them as they get bigger. We get bigger, so it's a great journey to go on together.
Yeah, outstanding. Thank you.
So the last person I want to call on again is, tell us again how we get $9,600, because I've already applied to get a SkillBridge person. I happen to be a one-person company. Everybody else is a 1099. And Craig, when I get Cathy to introduce me to this person, I guess I need to get with you before I bring them on, because if I eventually decided to keep them, I've got to start early. Do you mind running through how I get my $9,600? Because this seems like somebody's paying me to take an intern, and I'm giving part of that money back to Cathy to put new training back in for the next veteran.
Yeah. So great question, Jenny. So yes, the way that the DoD, or excuse me, the DOL program is designed is it's designed to be a hiring tax incentive, not an I've hired tax incentive. So as we alluded to earlier, it needs to be part of the hiring process. So the actual language is that the veteran has to complete their side of the paperwork no later than the day of job offer. So it's extremely important that you have the tax solution integrated into that process prior to hire. What we recommend to most of our clients is as you're sourcing for positions and you've got an open requisition and you've got 100 resumes and you've decided that, okay, here are the top 20 that we're going to interview for this position. At that point is when we integrate the process so that each of those candidates gets the survey through our portal, and then they complete the survey. It reports the results back to the portal so that when you're going through the interview process and you've done your 20 and now you're down to your final 3 that you're considering, you go back to the portal and go, okay, which of these candidates comes with a tax credit and how much? And then that way it can be part of that business decision. You don't have to hire the one with the tax credit. If you've got a better candidate and you're like, it's worth taking this candidate over the financial incentive based on their skill set, then that's what you do. But if you have 3 candidates and they're pretty close to one another, and one of them comes with $9,600, well, there's a pretty good financial incentive to choose that person. So we make sure that that those processes are in place so that you can incorporate that seamlessly and that you're making good decisions when it comes time to hire.
Well, I'm so excited about what we're bringing together with GovCon Pay, Vets to PM, and Veteran Tax Credits. This is all a part of GovCon Summit, and I encourage everybody, and please tell your friends, everybody on this call too, go to solvability.com/GovCon Summit and sign up or have them get in touch with me. But we're creating a way for everybody to win with what we're doing. It's going to result in hiring more veterans. It's going to result in veteran entrepreneurs being successful faster. And especially if they work with Russ Barnes, who's the strategy guy on all of this. Thank you all so much for being here today, and have a wonderful weekend.